what a family gives you.
Background around myself and then Archie, and then exactly what led us into creating these AI operating systems, so that what we showed Chris, what we've showed Trevor, Mario, and everyone else. Originally, I had a software development company, so we work with some big enterprises, we work with some big names. You can see some of our partners here, and you can see some other partners here. So we built out large softwares for these bigger enterprises, solar companies, retail stores, SAP companies, those kinds of stores, and that whole thing led to understanding the importance around data. Data is the most important thing, and I'll walk through exactly why. Then we came to a point where we've done these softwares for everyone else, let's do a software for ourselves. So we created a software which allowed you to clone the knowledge, voice, face, exactly how someone would speak, and make it look like you're on a Google Meet with them. So we were doing this with like Alex Hormozi, we were doing this with, Mike Chang. We were on the way to do something with Tony Robbins, and that's when we met Chris. And we saw the immense potential that this had for businesses. So imagine taking, instead of the knowledge of just one person, taking the knowledge of an entire business and condensing that into one thing, one operating system, which you can speak to allow you to have the very best decisions for your company and execute faster than anyone else. So that's kind of what led to what we're doing right now. And the whole metric, which we found it really, really, really helps, is increasing revenue per head. As Mario said, we're not here to cut out people of the company, but we're here to make every single person more efficient and therefore increase the revenue of a company through AI systems like this. So the whole rundown of my background has perfectly accumulated into this one operating system, from the software we built, from the previous software development company we had, and now exactly what we're doing. And that leads perfectly into what Archie's been doing.
Yeah. So my background has pretty much always been sales. When I was 17, I finished school, went straight into corporate sales. I was like one of the youngest people to ever conduct solo meetings in like the print, telephones, telecoms industry. And I was doing that when And yeah, so I did that when I was 17 and very quickly got out of it after about 6 months and got into selling courses. So I started as a salesperson selling courses, eventually started managing sales teams, and then started doing the operations for these info product creators and just selling more courses to them, making more money. And from that, learned a load on how these businesses conduct the sales, the operations, their backend. And then I met Alex, and he was already doing his software company and all of this. And then it led on to Mentorly, which was the business that we made where we were doing things, cloning people like Alex Hormozi, Mike Chang, people like that, for the back ends of info product courses to basically just help improve customer satisfaction and all of this. And like what Alex said, that's when we met Chris and we got into this. And so the way that Alex and I generally work as business partners is Alex is a big visionary. He has the technical background, the knowledge, and he has the big ideas. And I try to accumulate everything into the micro and exactly how this can directly correlate to revenue growth for pretty much every single person we speak to. And yeah.
And that's so important, because I remember Trevor is saying as well, there's so much, anything nowadays can be sort of done with AI, and we'll walk through exactly the potential of that. But does everything actually need to be done with AI? What's the most important thing to your business? What's actually going to help you achieve your goals? Is it just AI for AI's sake, which we've seen a lot of, and that's kind of what we want to cut through. How do we make it directly correlated to revenue growth, directly correlated to your KPIs, directly helping your business become a better business? Not just inject AI into it for the sake of AI. And that's the kind of operational knowledge behind the scenes, which Archie's amassed through operating big info creators and course creators, and in the technical side, which we'll come together with. So to move a little bit into the actual approach, which really we found works and allows not just to have AI for AI's sake, as I mentioned, is these 4 key principles. So at the bottom of everything is data. Data is the most important part. And now if we think about any business here, for example, what kind of data do you have? So let's say Ryan, what kind of key data metrics do you have in your development company or your architecture company?
We have all different types of SOPs for all the management systems, the CRMs.
Yeah. You're running ads or you're listing your developments You're running ads.
No,
You're listing your developments at certain places.
certain places.
Yeah. So well, like Airbnb. Okay. Yeah. So different places. So you've got SOPs. You've got your company docs, team members as well.
Yeah.
Team members.
Salespeople?
We work with agents.
Okay, cool.
I've got all these things that you're describing then. Salespeople, teams,
Yeah.
social media, Google Ads,
Yeah.
speaking to agents, agent feedback, agent lists.
Now,
Every
all of
single
that
data
data.
source you have, like even your WhatsApp business.
WhatsApp.
You know, what are you speaking to clients, team members, all of this on your Slack channels, maybe your Notion, all of this.
Slack, Notion, Teams channels.
Yeah.
Like Shani, what would you say? Data sources you guys have?
Currently, it's only from marketing. I mean, CRM systems, Meta, Instagram,
Yeah.
Okay.
Instagram analytics.
WhatsApp,
Yeah.
things like that. But then it turns into hospitality. Then it's real people, real families.
Mhm.
So
What people are saying.
It's evolving in our case since we have end to end. So
Yeah.
Mhm.
different phases have different data sources.
And
Yeah.
that's the beautiful part. Every single person's company has so much data in it. So much data which isn't being leveraged. And if it is leveraged correctly, it can create an operating system which allows you to be far more effective in reaching those KPIs. So for example, even if you don't have that data though, what Chris did perfectly is you can then scrape your competitors and see their data, what's working for them, learn from them, and then how do we iterate it ourselves and make it better. So anyway, that's the first layer around data. That allows for actually to build out this operating system, the workflow, the agents, the AI layer. Then how do we orchestrate everything together? How do all the different agents communicate? And then finally, how does it allow you to make the very best decisions possible for your company? Now, we had this like internal company metric, and I'll write it down here. It's basically our formula for revenue growth. It's basically speed of execution multiplied by the quality of the decisions which in turn is what we found increases revenue. So of course, if you have the very best data through quality of decisions, multiplied by making as many, or executing on those decisions, making that allows you to have more data to then be fed, to allow you to execute more, to allow you to have more data, to execute more, and then in turn, that releases to increased revenue.
Why don't we cover really quickly why you shouldn't just go and build a workflow straight away? Like a lot of people, and maybe some of you guys would have this, would be like, oh, okay, Bali Bound has this agent for the WhatsApp. Let me just make this right now and avoid and basically just skip things like the data foundation. Why is the data foundation the most important thing to start with, to then start building on top these kind of systems and automations?
So I'll think of it in like this four key stage framework. So Elon has this thing he calls an algorithm. If you've ever heard of Elon, he basically runs all of his companies by these 4-stage framework. And the algorithm basically is step 1, challenge the requirements. Step 2, delete whatever's unnecessary. And step 3, then simplify it. And step 4, actually automate. Now, if we are starting here at agent workflows and maybe going upwards of the pyramid, we're already starting at automate. Now, what's the point of automating something if it doesn't need to be in your company? And that's the whole thing around these 4 key frameworks, where you see, is it actually needed in my company? Is there anything that I can actually delete which is not really going to be there? And then simplify it. What's the really core basics that we can focus on to allow us to automate it? And then, so that's kind of why the stage 1 data is the most important part. So you know all the cards which are on the table. Then that allows you to see what's actually needed, delete the unnecessary parts, simplify it, and then create the agentic workflows.
That's essentially exactly what happened in terms of my, let's say, month 1 versus month 2. I went month 1 and I ripped through data foundation and had 0 really structured foundation.
It's also exactly how people buy property in Bali.
Right? Not
You
doing
know,
anything.
they start at 4 and then they're like, whoops, I forgot all the structure and the tax planning and all of that, and then they're like, whoa, backtrack and pay and move their leases and.
That's right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I can just buy it and make 20% ROI.
Speaking
simplify all the notes and then break it down and then send it out to everybody at the end.
Yeah.
You guys already do that.
We can speak about, like, we can break down each of you. We're more than open to like break down exactly what you're doing, what could be recorded, but we have so many things that we can speak about that topic where just all of these data sources, like conversations in a business when you're not even there. You know, like we're speaking to a hospitality group right now. We went to Kuala Lumpur last week to meet them, where they have meetings internally with HR, they have interviews, they've had all of this. And we get them to record now every single one of those meetings so it can go back into the operating system. And now that allows not even just the managers to understand what they can be doing better, i.e. have an agent to review the transcript, say, okay, you could have done this interview better, or sorting through the candidate, this is what happened in this interview, doing those manual data inputs. But it can also go a step further by giving the manager and the CEO the intelligence of exactly what is happening in the business at any given point. So they can go to their command center, which we'll show you in a minute, and understand exactly what is happening at any given point, so that based on that, they're working on the business, not in the business, and can just make better decisions and have the advisory from pulling through all these data sources. And then you start to really see the power. Yeah.
Then you can start seeing how everything really is data, anything. And this actually is a kind of realization we had from working with, so if you're familiar, this big creator called Hormozi, he had this 6K upsell, which cloned all of his knowledge, all of his podcasts, videos, books, everything, and created it into this chatbot. Now, it was a one-click 6K upsell, 6K, 8K, 12K. So only the dedicated Alex Hormozi fans would buy this, willing to spend 6K on just one click. Now, he specifically did that. He could have charged 50 quid, but he decided to charge that high ticket because he knows the dedicated fans who will spend that much just to access him in an AI form. Now, he, on the back end, is able to understand the exact questions they're asking him. Therefore, when he wants to market towards the high-paying customers, he knows exactly what questions they're asking, he knows exactly how to market towards them, and then he understands when he wants to do a book launch, when he wants to do a webinar, YouTube videos, and you've already seen this in his YouTube videos if you're watching him. He's now tailoring it specifically towards that high-paying customer. So that kind of data set is exactly what's useful. For example, you can create your ideal persona of an ideal buyer. See what kind of questions are they asking? What's the frequently asked questions? And then how do we create marketing material that directly answers that? So that when they get onto the call, when they speak to us about a property, they've already gone through that nurturing phase. All the frequently asked questions have been asked. So therefore, they're already warmed up with you. And this is another big thing, a concept in marketing around 7 touch points. The average buyer normally needs to consume around 7 hours of content, or 7 touch points, right? Now, if they're watching a video, they're getting an email, they're getting a ping on WhatsApp, all of these different touch points all coming together, they're so much more likely to, first of all, give you much better time, be receptive, and in turn, much higher likelihood of purchasing. So all of these different data sources allows you to understand your ideal customer persona better and know how to market towards them and therefore convert them better. So that's kind of the principles we've found, which is directly correlated to revenue growth with AI systems and leveraging data. So, as Archie mentioned, and a little bit of a visualization of what an operating system like this actually looks like. So, for example, this is similar to Chris's system actually. This is what we helped Chris build out. So, at the end of the day, we think about what's actually the goals for yourself. Is it to convert more? Is there a specific KPI you want to increase? Is it more property listings, more brokers, or whatever you want to appeal for? Then we create the whole data profile around your company. We then plug all of the files, plug everything in the back end, so it knows everything around your company. So I'd explain it like this. Imagine this is your company, or this is your AI system, AI operating system. Let's say that. Now, as we mentioned, all of you guys have immense amounts of data. You have your calls. You have your social media. You have your ads. You have, what else? Give me one more data
Team
source.
meetings.
Meetings, calls. CRM, exactly, yeah. CRM. What else? There'll be tons more.
Recordings of sales calls.
Yeah. Meetings. Okay, cool. And then even it can go into the legal aspect. It can go into the, finance as well. Everything around your company is a data source, right? Now, because it's all linked to this centralized operating system, hence this dashboard, there's a lot going behind the surface of this. all of these different data sources, they all link to one another. And because every single one of these pieces, if you imagine it like a massive node diagram, everything here, like meetings is relating to calls, that's relating to ads, relating to this, everything's related together. So it's like all of your data is encompassed in one place where if you want to find something, it pulls maybe a bit from calls, a bit from CRM, and a bit from the social media. And then it encapsulates that into an operating system like this. So, for example, if we were to see a little overview of what's actually happening, to see a quick visualization of all your metrics in one place, understand what the top of priority things which will help you reach your goals, so not just the unnecessary stuff we spoke about. And then all of the different dashboard viewings. So this is kind of what a centralized hub where you can see all your information from, and then allows you to make the best decisions. Now you can have all the AI agents running in the back end, like the marketing agent, intel agent, sales agent, scraping all your competitors, doing whatever your ideal goal is, working in the back end, and then just presenting everything in this one clean dashboard. So the whole point of this is, in the morning, you can wake up, log into your dashboard, see the key metrics around your company, see exactly what's needed, exactly what's the key priority, which all the AI agents in the back end have been working towards, and put it into one place. You just have to scroll through this, and if you have any questions, then you can go speak with Claude, which already has all of this knowledge, and then it can start iterating, building it out. So that's the kind of the potential, or this is the kind of power which we've seen for ourselves, seen for our partners, and this kind of system allows you to have a much better clarity of your business, to then allow you to work on your business, not in your business, not in the daily weeds of whatever is going on, and allow you to actually take a step out and see everything from a bird's eye perspective. So that's the kind of overall gist of what an AI operating system allows you to be doing. So is there any questions so far?
Does it do accounting? Real live accounting? I mean,
Manage finance.
actual entries?
Yeah, like so, I didn't show mine, but basically the dashboard that Alex has here from Miriam, I have one on the back end of mine. And it'll have my today's schedule, and I just have an overview of what's going on. But it's broken down into different aspects, and then I have a finance section.
Yeah.
And that would be current income, if I've got subscriptions I'm paying out, if I've got rentals that are
But
paying.
what do? You take a photo of a receipt and just upload it,
Take a
and
photo
then
of the receipt, I can
just
punch it
accounts
in,
it.
I can
Yeah.
send a message to Backspay, back.
beautiful.
Take a, but even,
That would connect with one of the accounting.
for example, what I've got, this is just for our own company.
Because that's super complicated in our business. In Sweden, it would be super simple.
Yeah.
I think
The
having-
rules are super simple, but
Mhm.
here it's just intertwined. and
But if it's
all
all linked to-
companies, and it's just a mess.
If it's all linked to one bank account,
Yeah.
Yeah.
then you
No,
just
it's
have,
not one. It's
Ah.
multiple transaction. It's across
But if you were
overseas,
writing
and
through a-
offshore. It's all
So
kinds
you're
of
saying
things.
there's rules attached to each individual transaction,
Yes.
and it's got it. So in
Yeah.
somewhere like Sweden or Australia,
We'll just download the rule
rules
book.
are the same from each transaction, but you've got unique.
Yeah, but and also there you would have one company. You would
Yeah.
run everything in one. You can't do that here. You have to have a whole bunch of
Yeah.
companies because
Mhm.
the system is just so bananas.
but that's actually one thing, like, I remember the first time we came to Oxford actually, we went to an event on KBLIs and all of this complexity, and there was a million different things everyone
Yeah.
was talking about, right? Now, all of those rule books are online.
Yeah.
Why can't you just transcribe it? Plug it into a system like this, which knows everything about your company, knows your goals, knows the properties you have, and then evaluates it against
Yeah.
the rule book.
It's not quite as straightforward as one rule book.
Now, exactly.
But
Every
But that allows
Writing
you,
the book as we go.
but that allows you to have that 80%.
That's hilarious.
Maybe that's an agent as well, right? Factor in that.
But I mean,
Rules
from
are
a
changing.
bookkeeping perspective, I mean, the basics, and I'm just integrating, it's not like we have just cash falling from the skies just yet, it's getting there. But be able to track it from an
Yeah.
operations perspective,
Yes.
fundamental. And then I actually have an accounting team
Yeah.
that
And also,
facilitates.
it's beautiful because you can have your own kind of admin dashboard, and then you can have your
Yeah.
client dashboard.
Be able to see
Oh,
everything.
it-
bird's
Yeah,
eye
and
view.
you can
And
do
then
this
see
for-
in real time what's happening
Exactly.
with the investments,
Exactly,
stuff
yeah.
like that, which
You can
is
see this,
also-
you can see your pipeline, like for example,
Yeah,
okay,
that's
here's
beautiful.
here's the pipeline, here's the listings, and actually we've taken some listings from the beautiful IPA. So IPA is showing all the listings here is, for example, the marketing stuff we spoke about earlier as well. All the marketing stuff, we're able to scrape your competitors, as Mario said. Everything we've spoken about today everything's cross-related, everything's correlated. Now, for example, marketing. how do you make the best marketing? So, okay, you can look at your competitors if you don't have any social presence. But then when you do start creating a social presence, you can start evaluating the stats. What marketing or what piece of content is performing the best? Why is it performing the best? Is it really reaching my ICP? And then how do we create more of that?
Yeah.
Then we can start creating that into a framework. And then if you even want to go to the next level, that's when we link up Higgsfield. That's when we link up the Higgsfield MCP. And actually really interesting what you said about earlier about Mario. Can actually AI do that? It can do that. And there's a lot of stuff which I'm really, like I was testing this out yesterday and I would have said it probably couldn't do this about 2 months ago. But nowadays,
Oh, we can, yeah.
it's got really powerful.
Yeah.
I was blown away. I don't even know nowadays. Like realistically, I have been in this for 4 or 5 years now. I've seen the progression of AI. Now we're at that point with media, and this is why I'm so bullish on it for 2026, that media plus AI, so pictures generation, video generation, music generation, editing, all of this kind of stuff, that's happening this year. That's why, if we amass all of this data first, we will then have the very best decisions to also be pumping out the very best content based on trends, based on what's actually happening for your company.
Yeah, from what it was like 2 months ago is nothing compared to what it is.
Imagine in 2 months' time now.
It's nuts.
Yeah, you see the.
Do we wait 2 months? No, I'm joking.
It's crazy. Yeah, it's nothing.
But that's the thing, like imagine we're on this kind of timeline where it's like that, right? We're probably here, this is what it was like 2 months ago, and this is what it will be like in 2 months' time. It's not even going to be linear, it's going to be exponentially better.
But it's that stuff now where it's like the quality now is just about so good. It's a hard time to distinguish it sometimes, you know. So it's like a Turing test, you know. You don't really know if it's from a robot yet, quite. But now it's like how you use that level of quality of material, how it can work with it to get to do what you want with it, you know. So video editing, because I was tinkering around with this script the other
These scripts
day,
good, yeah.
and it was okay, but it still was like, you know, maybe I wasn't prompting it correctly. But even the fact that I could like, it was doing a pretty good job, you know, and even that it was doing it, I was like, shit, like that's that next step that we're just waiting to see that.
Yeah, the fact that we're at pretty good, like that's what's
yeah.
remarkable about incorporating this for the last couple months. And again, pulling it back, cleaning up, and then starting over again in certain areas, it's like, wow, it's pretty good on picking up on stuff that if someone asked me to, I'd ask them if they'd been drinking. Like, it was just not quite clean enough for me to understand. And it spits out some top-notch material.
Yeah.
And if it's getting better at reading me and understanding me, in 2 months' time on a few more upgrades from Anthropic, it's going to be able to hear me whisper and spit out a full process.
Like character consistency and stuff. I mean, that was only like just a few months ago, and finally was starting to get it done. And now it's
Amazing.
you know, I just assume everything's there. I assume this.
No, but as well, you start to see as well that how this is applicable basically no matter what business you have, like whether you're a small one-person company or even an organization with 2,000 employees, 10,000 employees, like the principles are the exact same. You know, plug in the data layers, and from there you can start building out systems. And the same metrics, like Alex mentioned earlier, it's revenue per head. You know, how can you as an operator be the most effective in your role as possible, right? It's not about necessarily replacing, or definitely not replacing A or B players, maybe C players, depending on what they're doing, if it's like manual data inputs or things like this. But how can these A and B players be solely working on $300 an hour, $500 an hour tasks, which is what you're paying them to do, instead of $10 an hour manual input tasks like CRM updates, all these other manual things which just take too long to just become more effective.
Exactly, yeah.
No.
And then it comes back to what you were saying earlier. Okay, you can do all of these ads, and you can go crazy with Higgsfield, you can go crazy with Descript, Opus, whatever. But is it actually going to be useful?
Yeah.
And then this is exactly how we find if it's actually going to be beneficial to reaching your KPIs.
Mm-hmm. And that's exactly the same thing as what Trevor mentioned, and how you guys have the Donatello and all these people. You know, you just transcribe, and we've already done it, so you guys can, like, we just transcribe all of the best mentors and the general people that we'd follow anyways, and we get these decisions, you know, and you can start to see you as an operator, as your business owner, CEO, can then get suggestions on what you're missing, what you're not doing, what you could be improving. And that's when you start going through this layer and this cycle of just getting better and better and better and executing. That's why it goes back to this formula always. It probably didn't make much sense a few minutes ago when Alex explained it, but you probably start to see now how basically all you have to do now is just execute, because you know what to do at any given point, right? And if you don't know, you ask it a question and then you start to understand exactly what it is, because it's pulling through only sources of complete truth. Because these are all of your data layers which are factual, you know, so you can only make the best and most factual possible decisions through the thinking principles of, for example, Alex and I, big on Elon Musk, macro guys like Naval Ravikant, to just make the best decisions. And then you start to see how much better and how exponential your growth can be.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
And that's actually what led us to start this, because like at the end of the day, we were creating a software which cloned Alex Hormozi's knowledge, and then anyone could speak to it. But then we thought, have any of you guys read Think and Grow Rich? So towards the end, Napoleon Hill has the Mastermind section, where imagine if it's like Elon Musk speaking with Da Vinci, speaking with Alex Hormozi, speaking with whoever you want to put in that room. You can take all of their knowledge. You can take all of Tony Robbins' videos, encapsulate that, all of his videos, books, everything around podcasts, whatever. Create the Tony Robbins persona, create the Naval Ravikant persona, create the Elon Musk. Have them all debate your idea. Now we've used this to come up with the business idea right now. Like, everything has come through, and this is why we're so bullish on it, because we would not be able to scale this quickly if we didn't have what we had in place and what we're speaking about right now. Hence why you have a board of directors, the greatest minds in the world, discussing your ideas, telling you what to do. And even if it's, okay, it's not going to be 100%, but even if it's 60%, even if it's 20%.
Well, if it shifts your decision at all, that's remarkable. I mean, I've had some of those points too, where it's, because I was asking, I'm like, I want that $50,000 a month coach. It literally, like, it stopped me in my tracks when I was thinking, getting into my head or something about an idea, change price points, blah, blah, blah. And yeah, just the fact that it could just be like, in Indonesia, they'd say, chill, dong. That means like, easy, please.
Yeah.
I'd be like,
Perfect.
that's huge.
Yeah.
Saves time.
So that's the kind of reason what kickstarted this, and then we started brainstorming it, seeing what. But then actually, this is where the most important thing is. All of us guys understand. You guys understand your businesses better than everyone else, right? So therefore, you know what good looks like. So you can't just let prompt AI and say, okay, tell me my next 3 months, do everything. Because it doesn't know your business as good as you. You're the one that came up with the idea. This is just to help as an advisory board, like a mentor. And this, of course, the dashboard allows you to have the very best decision-making data to allow you to then make the best decisions. But it doesn't take you away from the human aspect of running a business. And that's the most important part. It makes you better at what you enjoy doing and allows you to do that more without having to focus on the boring stuff. But it's the main thing is, it's your business. How do you make that better? Yeah. That's the kind of overarching principle which we've seen.
Mm-hmm.
Cool.
I don't want to, I'll ask you guys some questions later too. I'm just curious about the stack that you're using too. Is like, are you using something like Superbase that
Yeah.
to
Yeah.
do it too?
Mm-hmm.
So I basically need to take all my Notion stuff that I have. Probably would help to put it. Yeah, I can see it.
Well,
So start to add live data feeds, so responses. Okay.
I can show you actually what the stack looks like.
So your live activity then was insane. I don't know if anyone was watching it.
Yeah.
But
off on the right there.
in literally in the last minute, you've voice noted some leads, you've posted on Instagram, you've found some old leads that were worth rewarm. Like,
Yeah.
just as you were talking then,
Yeah.
I don't know if that was faked or real, but if it was faked, but
Yeah.
yeah.
And like, let's go into the tech stack. Like this. This is what the whole operating system is at the core.
Yeah.
At the core, it's all of these. If you see on this side of the computer, it's all of these hundreds and thousands of files, hundreds and thousands. So you've got your docs around your company. Actually, this is not the. Where's it gone? This one. This is actually. It's got everything. Okay, it's got presentations. It's got docs. It's got memory. It's got clients, automation, assets, research. Everything about the company is in this one centralized operating system. Everything we've discussed. Calls, CRMs. It links to my WhatsApp. It links to emails, whatever else. All of that is then combined into one dashboard, or the operating system which displays that data.
GitHub, and then it goes into the dashboard?
Yeah,
or is
so-
it-
So it's GitHub and then dashboard.
Okay.
Exactly.
I got it.
And then Superbase is where you host the data, like the numbers. So it's like the key metrics, like the revenue numbers, the financial information. That's all on Superbase in the back end.
Okay. That
So-
makes sense. So all your correspondence is still going into GitHub
Yeah,
databases?
exactly.
I got it. But your data
But then also
analysis.
some of the data, and most of the data actually is live data, like the WhatsApp
So
conversation.
I would just have to download my Notion and just throw it in GitHub.
You just have to connect the
But
WhatsApp.
I need I've been missing the dashboard, because for me, Notion's the dashboard.
Yeah.
So I have these little pages so I've got like the Katie version of
Yeah.
AI
Yeah.
that like the teenagers are using.
Keep them, Kevin.
Yeah. This is an adult AI conversation. But that's it. Okay, so same concept, but yeah, dashboard visualization.
And then going back to what Chris and then Shani asked in the very beginning is, okay, is this all running on Claude? Yeah, it's running on Claude at the moment because Claude's the best model. But the way we have built it out, so it's all files on your local computer, it doesn't matter if it's Claude, it's GPT, Kimi, whatever kind of model. Whatever's the best model, you just have to plug and play that, just switch the model, and it has even more powerful capabilities of understanding everything. And now only this technology has been available since maybe the last four or 5 months.
That's right.
No, probably even less than that. Because the models have now got good enough to have such a contextual understanding to such a deep level and so powerful.
Mhm.
So
That's the adaptability, that's the foundation. Because now you have the foundation, then you can just adapt to anything, right? But if you just create an automation first, then like what you guys mentioned earlier, 2 months later, oh, this new thing came out. Okay, what I meant build before is now useless. Let me build something else. You just get this loop of just rebuilding and building and building when you're not actually really driving the ball.
and this is why we don't like OpenClaw.
Yeah.
This is like, OpenClaw is good. It's great now, apparently. But in 3 months' time, it's not going to be as good.
No.
Because the developer has to keep developing it, updating it. It's like he's building it and then you're using it. If he stops building it, you're relying on his system. But this system is everything that you're doing is self-updating, getting better and better over time. So it doesn't matter if it's now, in 1 year time, it will still be better than, it's a constantly evolving system.
When you're interacting with a piece of content, let's say a blog post or a social media post or something, are you able to access it from this dashboard and get it to open up in a formatted view so it's not markdown format? It's like
Yeah, I'll show you.
whatever, headings format. What is the name?
Yeah, let's say, okay, let's find
'Cause
something.
that's what I work with a lot.
Research.
So you just open it up in Claude Code.
Yeah, this is Claude Code. To be honest, it may be a bit intimidating in the beginning. It's actually, look, it's same as ChatGPT. You have your chats here.
Yeah.
Only the thing difference is you've got your files here, and you can look through your files. Now, let's say memory, business, content team hiring. Okay, so this is when you're hiring the content team. Okay, it may look intimidating. We just click that. You've got everything here. This is everything that we were speaking about.
You can do that.
Yeah. Now that's the same with basically another file. Okay, for example, role lifestyle editor. This was we were looking for some editors, and that actually goes back to, if you remember the editor story we had a while back. We needed some video editors. Now the operating system knew everything about me, knew everything about the company, knew everything, the goals we wanted to do, the kind of editors we wanted to hire. So I said, at 9 a.m. in the morning, go out and do this. It applied to onlinejobs.ph. It created an account, put the jobs listing out there. Then it funneled everyone into my email. It then scored everyone's email, or it scored everyone's portfolio that they sent on the email, put everyone into a spreadsheet with their phone numbers, emails, everything, and orchestrated a call for that exact same day at 5 p.m. Now, I sent off the prompt in the morning at 9 a.m., went off, went to the gym, didn't do anything, didn't touch that system for the rest of the day. At 5 p.m., we had 25 video editors on that call. Then we found which ones, we gave them the tasks, and by the end of the next day, we had 2 full-time video editors. So, that's the kind of systems, like whatever can be done on a screen, can be done through an operating system. That's why I was saying earlier, the models are that powerful. We've got to that point where AI can do whatever a computer can do on a screen, but itself. And that goes to what you were saying. What's the difference between Claude Chat, Claude Cowork, and Claude Code? Claude Chat is where, like ChatGPT, you ask it a question, it's not able to do anything. But once you have Claude Code, if you think about it, code is what everything on a screen is built out of. So if it can operate code, it can operate whatever's on the screen. Therefore, Claude Chat is for asking it questions. Claude Code is for actually doing stuff proactively. So therefore, if you want to change the code base of your website, inject new SEO, inject new blog posts, that's what you'd use Claude Code for.
Well, it could just run. You can spend a lot of tokens easier on it because it'll run for extended periods of time. It's more like get the ecosystem to reflect on the top layer of stuff. So
Yeah.
it's, if I have 100 blog posts that can be written, Claude Chat is going to hit it.
Mhm.
It's going to run into.
But at the end of the day, it's like I rarely use my limits, and I'm on it all day, as Chris said.
Yeah.
It's pretty hard to.
So happy when I hit that weekly limit. 4 hours in the day left. I was like,
It's an achievement.
Every dollar's
Chris, you have no idea. For YRL, Amjad, our CSM, he's hit the $200 limit every single day.
That's how hard the team was working.
He hit his weekly limit.
$100 for right now.
And then we gave him our plan as well, and then he was maxing out that.
That's insane.
So
And he was hitting the weekly plan on the $200 limit. So like, this is ridiculous.
Greatest I got was at 50%. 3 days in, I was like, I'm gonna definitely beat 4 hours.
Yeah.
yeah.
No.
The website development stuff eats it up like crazy.
Yeah.
No, but you see as well, using Operator, you don't necessarily you can basically bring pretty much everything in your business in-house with an operating system now, because you don't necessarily need a digital marketing agency, because you can just execute, you can get the analyst.
You're missing the guy.
Oh, that's why I'm getting into SEO coaching. Like my job's tough.
No. Yeah, but you see, as an operator, you can start to bring a lot of your stuff in-house in terms of what you're doing. You can get it's still more than 100% beneficial to get the advisory and still probably a bit of the execution from someone external, because you don't know what you don't know, and at the same time your AI doesn't know what it doesn't know to the inputs you're putting in.
But that's interesting, because a digital marketing agency that uses Claude Code or uses an operating system, leverages it, will be better than any other marketing agency that doesn't.
Yeah, true.
Right? Therefore, what is at the core? What is a business? It's someone that can solve a problem in a unique way, right? Now, digital marketing agency A will have a different approach to B, C, D, E, F, and that's why you choose B as opposed to F, right? And if you want to go with B, they have their unique way of solving it. So therefore, with their AI, they're able to execute much better in their style. So it's up to you now. Now it's do you want to go with this style or this style? And then therefore it makes your company supercharged on what they're really good at. And that's the whole thing about this. That's the core underlying principle. It allows you to do what you're really good at far more effectively without having to worry about the admin tasks. Increasing revenue per head.
So we need to niche down to create a unique selling mechanism. So if you create an acronym over your product too, you've got the 1, 2, 3, you've got the Ninja Turtle method,
Unique mechanism.
trademark, pending.
No, you're right. That was a
Turtle
good point.
power. Maybe you can get away with turtle power. You just gotta change the names really slightly.
Power
It's
of
like,
language.
You
it's
think
like
that companies moving
Michael
forward
Ina,
would
it's
stop
like shit.
implementing external people?
You could get really-
Like,
TMNT.
I don't think it's because you're still selling ignorance, right? Any business is ignorance. You don't know, we don't know how to do something, or someone that has something that you don't have. How much do you think that would change?
But I think
the
businesses that-
I think it's silly to say you don't need a marketing agent or you don't need a SEO company, but you have the intelligence as you as a business to know what good looks like. So when you do work with a marketing agent or SEO company, you know if they're doing a good job or not, because you can still get the analyst.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because you can't. No one can
You
be.
can try and do your own. You're just
Yeah,
gonna fuck it up.
yeah. It's still, and it's going to take more time, and yeah,
Yeah.
Like,
But you-
'cause it's less about making the contact.
yeah.
Well, it's about it's death from 1,000 cuts. So if your
Yeah.
AI gets it wrong a little bit, and then it's getting it wrong in a little bit of a different way, and it's not understanding this,
Yeah.
and then that all comes together in one way, then it just starts to get not as comprehensive. But there is a lot that now, if you understand how to put it together the right way, then yeah, you can do it yourself.
Yeah.
For sure.
But then again, it goes back to the same thinking principles. If you were the best operator, the best CEO version of you, would you be doing that marketing yourself? Probably not. You'd delegate it, and you'd work on even more macro things.
That's right.
So I guess it just enhances.
But isn't that the whole principle?
Yeah.
Like loads of successful entrepreneurs we know, what they do is they hire an agency,
That's right.
and then once the agency executes and does all their tasks, they take all the playbook of the agency and then just brings it in house.
Yeah.
Now that's the exact same system with this.
Yeah.
And you can get the.
That's why I'm asking you for screenshots of what you're creating there. Just kidding. Okay, because I still don't know enough of how to make it clean.
Yeah, the code bit, Claude Code.
Mhm.
Like, how do we then implement that? Is that what you guys comment? Like, say chat, okay, we know how to talk to chat. Then co-work, okay, but the code side of things, you don't actually have to code yourself, right? You're taking code from.
Yeah, you're letting the AI write the code.
Yeah.
So as a software, as a software development company, we had all of our engineers, or all of our developers leverage AI. And this was about 2 years ago. Now it's leveraging AI so powerfully, it's writing 99% of the code. And the reason a software developer is doing that, as opposed to a random person, because a software developer knows what good looks like and knows what good code is. And that's why you can't just say to AI, create me a marketing campaign that will get 1 million views. Okay, it will try to, but it doesn't know what good looks like from your perspective.
That's right.
Right?
It will come up with a marketing campaign like those guys.
Yeah, let's not say too much.
Your intellectual property as the expert in that domain is still completely relevant. It's just super short.
That's right.
Yeah.
That's right.
You go to AI, it just spits out bloody nonsense. It's the same with you guys as well. If people are trying stuff with Claude, sure, but they haven't got your intellectual property on how to piece it together.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
And exactly, and that's the same with any business. It's like the whole backstory is why you're here right now. Everything previous is what's led to now, and that's why people pick your service as opposed to someone that's done it in a different route.
Yeah.
And that's the whole point. That's the same with people, though. Why do people choose you as opposed to you?
I'll give you an example. So I'm working with a lot of developers in Australia. We've got a couple of development projects, and each one of them has said to me, "We need you to sign a non-disclosure." And I was like, "Why?" Because it's my intellectual property, how I assess sites, how I assess the market, my connections, and I cross-pollinated with other people. So the same applies in reverse if you flip it. They still going to want the system tailored to them. I don't think it's going to disappear.
No.
Yeah. Because at the end of the day, it is the creation that comes from this mind that feeds that AI. And it'll always be that. Was the whole purpose behind it. AI just fuels the ability to speed on execution and then lead to a quality decision and keep that cycle going. But I still have to keep feeding it the creation, the ideas, and allow those things to propagate and create, in this case, an increase in revenue.
Exactly, yeah. All right, perfect. Well,
Do you want to go for a property launch?
should we show the whole property alerts dashboard, actually?
Yeah, let's talk about property launch and a webinar.
Like, for example, you guys are familiar with creating a website. Trevor, Mario even said this earlier. It used to take tens of thousands of pounds to create a website.
Yeah.
Teams of SEO agents, all of this stuff. Now, because it can write code, it can create the websites. Now we're able, for example, this presentation we're doing right now, this is a website. This was deployed, everything was built by code, right? That would have taken someone developing it, coding it, deploying it, all of this stuff. This was done in a few prompts.
Yeah, I've got I'll show you guys something.
Like,
Got an interesting SEO link building thing. Well, yeah, building a microsite, that's what I call it. I call it a brand mirror site. So if you've got a brand, I should use this tool here. So like I can just do this Claude skill right now and say I want a brand mirror site for hot property alerts. Just put in the URL and a screenshot, and it'll look at your specific categories. So it'll make like a whole separate site based on a category or a product. So it's kind of a hyper-focused subversion of it, which helps with SEO relevance.
Yeah.
Interlink it, it'll make all the content interlink it, just do one shot in 10 minutes. And it's really messed up.
This goes back to, like, for example, okay, now you can say, oh, web design agencies are dead. But not really, because they have their unique flavor. They know what good looks like. You're going to go to web agency 1 as opposed to web agency 3 because they have their unique way that you resonate with more. Right? It's just going to make them far more effective in doing it.
You just have to do more.
Exactly.
Yeah.
I'm not working any less. I'm working so much more.
No, but
I've ever had in my entire life. I'm just getting more done. It's like,
Yeah.
I'm not relaxed.
No, but the thing is, but it's partially because you're building this as you're doing this.
Yeah.
Like once you have the system like there, it's there. You know, so the whole thing with the operator, and generally speaking, where I think this would be a cool conversation further toward the end, but where the future is going, I think people are going to work less, and they're just going to be producing more output. Because now, if most of the things on Claude Code and things like this can be done on the screen, right? So what is the most important thing? Like, why do you think Alex and I are speaking to you guys in person as opposed to just behind a laptop coding? You know, because this enhances the need for things which AI can't do, building relationships like this. And that fundamentally is everything for you as a CEO, as an operator, and like salespeople, you know?
Exactly, and that's why I think you're going to go in the polar in one direction for AI. Everything's going to become so AI, where people then will seek the human connection and will seek what's the face-to-face interaction, which AI will not be able to do, and that's one thing it can't do. This is why we're pursuing content so heavily, because AI can't be Archie better than Archie, right? No one can be Archie better than Archie. No one can be Trevor. No one can be anyone better than yourself because it's all your life's experiences, right? But allows you to do what you're good at far more effectively and far better.
Yeah.
That's, people can have the doom and gloom aspect of AI, or you could have the positive. And that's kind of what we see.
I think that's also another interesting point to make as well. Is most of the videos on YouTube that you see about AI is just like, oh, this came out, use this. Hermes agent come out, use this instead of OpenClaw. You know, you just get in this loop of intertwining of every single day you watch these YouTube videos. Oh, something else come out, oh, it's doom and gloom, oh, it's amazing, you know. And you just get in this cycle of just garbage, you know, because the people making these videos, they're not operators, they are business owners, but they're not real business owners in your niche. And they just don't really understand like what it takes. Because really, every 2-3 months maybe is when you should be looking for new information on your system, really.
Not even though, because our system's looking itself and
true.
self-updating what's relevant.
Yeah.
So I have not seen, I do not watch YouTube videos anymore on technical stuff. I would just watch bigger macro kind of like different, like from a larger perspective, like Naval Ravikant or Elon.
Like I'll copy links, IG dump it.
Yeah.
You know, like I'll copy a link to my Instagram and I'll dump it into WhatsApp Baxter and he'll bookmark it. And at the end of the day, I'll take however many I'd come across, if any at all, that were relevant. I'd dump it in the cursor, run through, and if this applies to the business, extract what we need, dump what we don't. And it'll say, yeah, this is good, or this is clickbait. It'll literally refine anything. Oh, okay, we could use this, let's put it in here, we can work on that next week. It'll tell me when to schedule it, why to schedule it, and we'll incorporate it. Or if we already have it, and it's not necessary, good to go. Like, it's beautiful, and it does.
Yeah. Because all these guys on YouTube as well making these videos and do this. Their job is to make content, to find a new thing to speak about, you know.
2 days ago we had dinner with them.
Yeah.
Like,
they're not good at operations.
We like all the people that we've seen on YouTube AI kind of content wise. We had dinner with them, and what their whole business is education. It's also appealing to the lower businesses, the people who are just starting businesses, who want to create AI businesses or get into the AI industry. That's what their audience is, and that's why they're producing that kind of content. Because they were trying to drive up views to get as many people to see whatever the new AI thing is, and then put it into their company. Now, 90% of stuff is complete rubbish. And that 10%, which is, you can spend far better time getting your operating system to scout for that 10 than watching all 100% of that content and then only finding 10. That's why, for example, why we don't watch hour-long YouTube Mastermind videos or whatever on that kind of stuff, because we'll just take that transcript, plug it into our system, and say, what's the most relevant part to us, if anything. It'll take those 2 minutes, it'll transcribe it, and then directly tell us how it applies to us, because our system's linked to everything it knows about our company. And that's the way we don't waste time on unnecessary content stuff. So that's basically the flow where, okay, you can keep updating it, watching the tutorials, or you can have this agent which just watches all the videos on your behalf, finds what's relevant, and then updates it. And that's what I have. Every morning I'm getting an email saying, okay, these are the latest updates. This is what's relevant to you. Should I do it, yes or no? So.
Perfect. We can have an agent now doom scrolling in the middle of the night so we can sleep.
Right, exactly.
Finally.
Someone take on the bad habits. Finally. Find more bad habits.
That's a good one. Yeah. It's guilty. Thanks, guys.
Cool. So yeah, as we were speaking about different softwares, different data sources, CRMs, whatever. Now, the technical parts of it, there are certain softwares which have, or all softwares, have something called an API, or an MCP, or a CLI. Those basically just mean they can connect to anything else, right? So every software can connect. So if you're paying a subscription for, I don't know, Salesforce or whatever, Fathom or whatever.
HubSpot, GHL.
HubSpot, yeah. You connect those things into your operating system so you never need to touch those platforms again. Imagine operating 40 platforms or 40 softwares into one, right? You don't have to go into your GHL dashboard, then go to your YouTube analytics, go to your CRM, check your WhatsApp, all of this kind of stuff. The whole point is unified into one, and only telling you what's most relevant. So you can actually cut out the noise and focus on the signal. Yeah, let's do actually a little bit of a live.
Let's break down what someone's doing. Victoria, do you want to go through what maybe you spoke about? I saw in your application on the type form, like what are the kind of data endpoints? Maybe we could break down what a workflow and a structure could look like to increase the effectivity of people in your organization or you personally. Can you do that?
Actually, if we take something completely new,
Mm-hmm.
I need to develop. Maybe
Sure. Yeah, what is it?
like I was invited last week to Bulgaria,
Mm-hmm.
and so the healthcare tourism industry in Europe, they suggested me to create physician-led health preventive programs for organizations. So
Mhm.
and now I'm here, so I need to build this business.
Mm.
There is a demand for organizations like for huge companies. They send their workers for preventive health programs.
Cool.
And so how it can be used.
Yeah.
So now I need to. So this is the white page now.
Yeah, if you're starting from zero, then the first thing is going to be is deep research on everything, right? So you can map that out on the whiteboard.
Okay, so we'll see. Are there other people doing what people they're asking you to build up?
There's competitors.
There are, but it's like early stages. So it's not yet developed. That's why they need it. There is a demand.
And there's competitors globally though? So Bulgaria, I understand, but
For
a similar model?
It's just a part. Bulgaria and so Eastern Europe
Mhm.
wants to be developed.
Yeah.
And it's could be global, can be European. So both
Mhm.
directions.
Okay, so we'll see. First stage is of course understanding where the market is, having as much data to help you make the best decisions, right? So therefore, what data is there? So if there's no, is there data from the healthcare companies or the, none of that?
Not a lot.
Not a lot.
It's a really great opportunity now.
Okay.
Yeah.
How do you know there's a lot of demand then?
Mhm.
Where is the demand coming from? Is it just word of mouth? People.
And demand also has to be created because people don't know this.
Okay,
So,
cool.
yeah, there is
Okay.
like a product which is great. And now, like in general, the preventive health, it's like a trend. People start to think about this.
Mhm.
And
What type of preventive medicine is it? Like stem cells?
thalassotherapy, mud therapy, mineral waters, like all in package. And so it's like healthy lifestyle, but a
Yeah.
little bit more included with like already, yes, like a medical diagnostics. It could be already people have something, and we have data from what do they have, and or burnout, for example. So it's it can be a lot from this side, and because organizations send them, for example, to all in hotel, and they are eating not healthy, and then the organization pay. But they think, no, we better pay for our workers to be healthy. So, but they need to know where,
It's a bit like going to Fiji with the health.
for example,
James,
yes,
yeah,
or
exactly, yeah.
Bulgaria or Romania or Fiji, you're right, or Bali even. So where it's giving this services.
So if you think about the advertiser client, from an example, UK company,
Yes.
over to Bulgaria, lower cost, lower price. If
Correct.
they've got their healthcare there.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
Mhm.
So people don't know there's a problem quite yet.
But there's still
No,
demand.
because for example, Germany developed this and even the insurance paid.
Mhm.
So Germany. Others, I came from France.
Mhm.
That's why I was invited because France is zero. Like maybe a little.
Easy-
some, a little
Easy
amount.
process, yeah. Easy process. It's literally
Easy
just
process.
what are the companies that are doing it now in the countries they're already doing it?
Mm.
What works for them? What is their current structure? We can do deep analysis through called deep research and all these other tools to understand everything about their offering. We can look into their marketing, what their ad campaigns are looking like right now. What parts of their ad campaigns potentially are performing. And then from there, we can really reverse engineer their exact structure, what they're doing well, what they're not doing so well, so that we can apply it into the Bulgarian market, right? So like what you mentioned, the first thing is there are people with demand, but generally speaking, that's so problem aware.
Yeah, they have to be
Okay,
connected.
so that's exactly how our marketing campaign is going to look like off the back, right? Because most people probably are in this 60% of the unknown, right? For example, a big thing with real estate, everyone competes with 3% of people who are basically ready to buy. That's why like you see a lot of listing sites and whatnot, and why educational content, like someone like Trevor, for example, they go a few layers below this, maybe to the 60% who aren't problem aware. You start to see, oh, I can do Bali, it's cheaper, it's really healthy, you know, and then you start to see how they go up the funnel, and you can lead them from there, right? So your content immediately, because the market isn't so nurtured and doesn't understand as much, is going to be in this 60% of research, right? And then we can start to reverse engineer through marketing agents to see the exact copy for ads, how it can be structured, how the editing can be, what the workflow can be, like what Mario mentioned, for uploads onto the YouTube, LinkedIn, Instagram, Facebook, Twitter, you know, you start to see.
Yeah, and then it's operations come.
Exactly.
Next,
Then it
because
comes
they
into
come
place.
and say, okay, yeah, we are here.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm having a call, and then it starts,
Yeah.
because then there are lots of questions, because
Exactly.
it's the first time for us, like.
Yeah, and that goes to the marketing.
The first time for the provider as well, because they say, oh, yeah, that group is coming, they want this particular special program because this particular organization.
Yeah.
So then it's going,
Exactly. And then, for example, I can imagine the Bali market would be a very interesting case study to look into, do deep research on the different health medicines, alternative medicines, right? I know the Bulgarian, or familiar with the Bulgarian, the mentality of the consumer's aspect to health and all that.
Yeah.
So then how do we approach that? What kind of campaigns are running for them? How do we take the knowledge from Bali or this kind of market?
Yeah.
Now,
and after it goes diagnosis, who goes to Bulgaria, who goes to Bali, and also how far the company wants to send people, because this is far and this is close, so there are options.
yeah, and the beautiful thing is, if you're focusing on this marketing part, you're focusing on this 80%, which most people aren't really touching. That allows you to have the data then to know exactly what products people are asking for, exactly what people are actually demanding, and therefore you can spin up the product from there. Rather than creating a product, marketing it, then not knowing if the marketing is correct for the product.
Yeah, we need to help them.
Yeah.
Like consulting, they don't know
Exactly.
what they need. They don't know, do they need this smart therapy or mineral, what is the, why they need to go to Bulgaria because of the climate. So it's all.
And then one thing,
The switch that's happened is because that's what marketing companies used to spend millions and millions and millions of billions of dollars on, is trying to get that market research, which now you can have AI go and extract it. And that's the real big flip.
Yeah.
If you look at the flight routes and the most popular flight routes into Bulgaria, where you're going to do this, you know exactly where to go.
Oh, yeah, this is what we did with the solar company.
this is what we did with this. I can show you. Yeah.
Booking some appointments.
Perfect. But even like just from thinking, okay, we need the data, but just from what I can imagine, thinking about the Bulgarian mentality, thinking about the Bali health, is some kind of way of UGC ads. So Bulgarians, it feels like they follow the crowd. Eastern Europeans, if your friend does it, you're likely to do it. They're not the first movers. They're a little bit conservative on the back end, right? Now, if they see an influencer that they follow doing this, taking the trip, experiencing the healthcare alternative medicines, now they're much more likely going to be doing that.
Correct, like Germany, they started, so now lots of jobs out there.
Exactly.
Yeah.
France they don't know, and now Belgium they don't know, so and then so it's really of course.
This is always the best stage to be at. Like Trevor probably knows from knowing like Sam Ovens, guys like Alex Becker. In the info course selling industry, there's a big funny trend that happens where you see something happening in the US market and just you copy it and apply it to a different speaking language in a different country, and it works. You know, and generally speaking, there's like a 6-month delay on every single. But the info industry, the course selling industry, is one of the fastest moving industries there are.
Writing that one.
And that's actually the key principle.
you can literally just look at America and see what's happening in America and just copy it for a different speaking language.
Yeah. And now you can clone yourself so it actually looks like you're speaking German.
Yeah.
I'm not sure if French are like Americans, so you need to consider also
Yeah.
the mentality.
And like that's what's why. But like for example, it could be the same thing with the course. Like this is why Archie's skill set around operating info, the most competitive online industry. They have funnel hacks. They have A/B testing, the most insane ways of testing it. CSMs. If you're doing $1 million a month, You've got about 60 CSMs dialed in on delivery. Every single thing is mapped out with SOPs, everything. Now you take that exact same principle to a business which isn't doing that, and you apply those same principles, which have a much higher capital cap. That's where, and that's, imagine that and then combined with AI.
Yeah.
You can see the...
Maybe I'll show you guys an example of an info, like a workflow, which I know, a guy that I know that just implemented this. And you'll start to understand like the complexity and just how insane it is what's happening. So for example, like a company which is doing info and they have maybe 5 sales reps, right? So they have sales rep, and then maybe there's a sales manager. These are real people, sales manager, and then like the business owner, CEO. So these sales reps obviously are doing their sales calls. So pretty much all of them do this on Fathom, which is just a recorder. There's Fathom, what's another one? Granola, all these places where you just take data, right? And just upload these transcripts. And these transcripts all go into the operating system, right? i.e. the back end, which is Claude Code. And it goes through Claude Code. So all these transcripts go into Claude Code. And that's where you can start spinning different frameworks and different systems off of, right? Because you can have a sales agent specifically for the sales rep, where it goes for, let's say, a sales coach. It can be trained on the methodologies, for example, of Jeremy Minor, if you know him, or Jordan Belfort, everyone knows Wolf of Wall Street, right? His sales frameworks. JB, that's called JB agent, right? This sales rep, after that call, immediately that transcript can get analyzed versus the company's SOPs and, for example, Jordan Belfort's sales framework. That closer can then get that data and that feedback on what it can be doing better, i.e. how to improve. That can come through Telegram, WhatsApp, Slack, whatever the agent may be on. And there's the next stage, where the sales manager can then also get the information on exactly what happened on that call. What does this sales rep need to improve on? What does this sales rep need to do better in order to become a better closer and improve everything for the company, right? So the sales manager can then get this intelligence. And then there's the next thing on what happened and how the CEO then also gets that data on and exactly what happened. So all of this goes through the Claude Code and can also go through a data analysis agent, for example, or it could also be like a CFO. And this data analysis agent, because everything's connected from the CRM, GHL, whatever the CRM is, right? He's able, and this agent is able to autonomously update based on what happened with the call from the transcript, exactly what happens. I can update, okay, this buyer, this is their name, their situation, everything about them in the notes. Did they close, yes or no? How much did they close for XYZ, right? You can even go a step further by looking into the payment processes. And these guys go through WAP, they go through Stripe, and they see that analytics, they have the APIs connected, and can see if, okay, this guy deposited 3K, 5K, 10K. You can then go for an agent where it actually creates the contracts for the client and starts to onboard them, i.e. as CSM agents. So this company probably does about 400K a month, so they normally have about 10 client success managers to just make sure the clients are doing the best, and they're all hosted on Slack, right? Now, because these people go through it now, the agent, when someone closes, basically no one has to speak to each other when something happens, because the sales rep does a sales call, that happens, then it gets laid off naturally to the CSM, right? The CSM gets an overview on everything which happened from the closing call, the ticket size, the contracts. They can create the Slack channel autonomously, right, immediately after this client closes, and they start speaking to the client, right? Because the CSM knows exactly what happened. They get the order, the workflow of what happened, and they just start scaling up with them. Now, also, they have this is what we talk about. They have the data layer through the Claude Code, through these transcripts, and then it also goes through a CSM bot, right? This answers frequently asked questions, anything which comes up normally for the CSM. The reason why this is hugely beneficial is because it autonomously asks questions, just like Chris's Baxter, same basic thing through Slack though, right? But the reason why this is beneficial for a CSM is because now the CSM basically doesn't have to do as much as what he would normally do, because he's normally just handling the same questions come up between every single client, right?
More via
Exactly.
text rather than having that call.
Exactly. But now the CSM can still take the calls and still be even more effective in delivery than he would normally be, right? And now you start to see as well with the business how they can start to scale up their clients, whether it's ad spend, whatever it is, right? The sales reps no longer have to fill in things like the GHL and do all these manual data inputs. They don't have to hop on any calls, as many calls with the sales manager, because the sales manager also understands exactly what happened on that call and is already coaching, and the closer is already getting coached by the Jordan Belfort sales agent, for example, right? And you start to see how the general kind of friction in the cogs of this business are just getting more and more free, and things are just moving faster and better, right? Because they're going through these natural cycles of intelligence without actually having to communicate with each other. So the business is just moving forward, and everyone is aligned with everything else, and everyone is improving.
There's one more. Chris and I had a quick call meeting with the guys that have the voice agents, and they're working. They've got Bappy on the back end.
Yeah.
And I've talked with those guys, similar companies before. So this is like automated voice agent that sounds very natural to do. You know, the initial advanced qualification or something.
Yeah.
Call. And but what he said that blew my mind the other day. So this is after you had to jump off the call and I kept talking with him. He's like, well, get this. So what they can do now is like take that call transcript and it tracks their sales automated calls can come from your ad campaigns and plug into your analytics on your ad campaigns and be able to automatically give direct feedback.
Oh, you
into
mean
your
like
ad
pixel?
campaign
Yeah.
To adjust in the pixel.
It's like
to
pixel
adjust the
conditioning.
parameters if you're getting
Yeah.
like good calls from
Yeah,
this ad campaign or this one.
Yeah, and it will push more of that lead. Yeah,
That's
exactly.
so cool.
And you see how this is a cycle of just continuous
Oh, no,
improvement.
I
It's
just
insane.
don't want to do any of it myself.
Yeah.
That sounds great.
Yeah.
That's good. But the framework that you guys are talking about, and it's the boring data collection, which a lot of that can be automated, just as long as you structure it properly.
Yeah.
Feed it into a dashboard.
I think that's the pinnacle to it all, is that all the shit that I don't want to do, or that I couldn't figure out, or I'd have to, spend some time to learn and so on and so forth, it gets sorted so I can just focus on creating, which is fun, and it becomes now a desire, and that's why people get hooked into just building, and like Trevor was saying, I worked more in the last 2 months than I have in the last year, easily, and it's been exciting, because I'm not spending time doing fucking accounting, like, I'm spending time doing building, and seeing and creating a vision, and it's like playing golf, it really is a cool concept.
Yeah.
Also, like what you said though, understanding it cognitively and saying that's a good idea and you don't want to do it yourself, I feel the same way. And then I'm wasting time doing it myself, and it's not what I do best.
Yeah.
It's not what I get
You're not
paid for.
efficient.
No, I don't
executor of
have
it.
the expert IP for it. Like these gentlemen, like you guys have been helping me so far, which has been amazing. I'm just wasting bloody time doing it myself. I literally missed out on a deal with a developer who's a good friend of mine because I was fucking around with Claude.
Yeah.
Like how fucking stupid is it?
Yeah.
You know what I mean? I use it for doing my shopping list and
Yeah.
my girlfriend organise our itineraries on holiday. But
Yeah.
I'm trying to organise CRM systems. Like who the fuck do I think I am? And I reckon you're going to get a lot of people doing that. They're going to come to a realisation very, very quickly. They don't have the IP like you have the IP authority on what you do, and I have the IP authority on what I do. And you as a developer.
I feel like you have to go through that cycle though, because even for example, like our client, like you look at YRL for example, like the clients that we have go through the same thing of trying to fuck around with themselves, and they're like, I spent more time on this than I would normally do anyways, and not really produce as much output because they have the intelligence, they haven't done it before for themselves, and then
You have to even know
you
it's
just
like the CEO of your own AI system. You still gotta know
it's the same thing.
What the components are. And what you're
But you
working
still
with.
need to understand it, because if you understand it, then that's the most important thing, and you can operate it to the best of your ability. And that's why you need to understand how it works, and then based on that, you know what good looks like.
People
And
get a
this,
little ahead of themselves too, right? They
Yeah.
just skip and do the foundation. I'm a great example.
Yeah.
Build a foundation. I was talking to Sam about it. I intended to build, let's say, 10 points, right? And then scale to the moon. And getting introduced to AI, and then doing the 10 points, AI made me realize that I've got 50 points at the base, at the foundation I need to work on. I was like, damn it. So it takes forever. So just go, do.
Yeah.
And it did all this, and then I was like, to the moon. And it was like, nope, you're missing the rocket ship.
it's the same thing with the Clawbot, the principle from the YRL client. Like they're like, oh, I can get so much, I can move so quickly with the Clawbot. Oh, you guys are taking so long to train it. You don't realize what it takes to build the foundations to then grow.
It's been designed in a way where it's naturally dopamine producing. Like look at the Claude logo, it's beautiful. And the way it gives you feedback as well, you think you're onto something and you just
Yeah.
You're like, I'm a genius.
Yeah.
But I'll do
optimist in the center.
I can out there to my team as well. What I did over the weekend, you lot
Yeah.
it's stupid. They messaged me on Tuesday and were like, it's broke. Don't ever do that again.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah.
I mean, you stick to what you do.
Yeah.
Well, James, think about this, what we learned in business mastery, bringing it back to your business, with things like Todd Huntley. I don't know if you've seen Todd Huntley and the PR news hijacking. So bring that into the real estate world, and I've used that to hijack the news in America over to Portugal. That created 87 inquiries and about 7 sales. And then taught it in Bali at the retreat.
Yes.
That's where Maru got on the front of Forbes with her beautiful husband, Roberto. And they had like nearly $1 million in sales in one day. Massive credibility. So tie all this in with everything we're there at
Very
Business
powerful
Mastery.
tool.
So yeah, that's why we're taking the team to take our office.
Mm.
Pretty good.
Yeah.
So the million dollar question then. So you onboarded some developers, right? So how long does it take and what does it cost? Ballpark figure.
For what?
For your services to onboard a new developer.
Oh, you mean like a software developer?
No.
No,
Oh.
real estate developer.
Oh,
Depends,
well,
yeah.
we made the mistake last time of onboarding a client immediately on a one call, and we realized very quickly that from the scope of work, we should charge them a lot more than what we were doing.
Yeah.
And so from now on, we do not do one call and we don't do cookie cutter approach, basically. Because naturally, everyone's pretty different with what we do and
Have you
implement.
done any real estate developer onboarding from start to finish yet? With everything like, you know, some other developer
Depends.
somewhere? No?
It depends what you want. So if you just want sales,
No, well, we want everything, of course.
yeah.
Yeah.
Hot property alerts.
Yeah, hot property alerts would be the best
So
example.
many quotes and proposals out there, and it's ready to go. Or if you want,
But you're a real estate agent.
yeah. So out of the 23 countries we've sold in, 55,000 properties off plan. It's a mouthful. Yeah, we've done 5,000 sales in this format in Mexico, and only about 450 sales in Portugal, loads in Spain, and loads of bank repos and Panama, everywhere. So bring that to Bali. Speaking to a developer the other day, he's got 80 units he wants to sell, and that can be done in probably 5 minutes.
Yeah.
A build up to get there, the social media that's needed, 1 million views on YouTube. Mario, we never know if the videos are going to go viral, so you have to get all of that, push it into the real estate world, and we've got 450 social media accounts. Then you need the comparisons, so we've got telephone salespeople. So, and then they're used to selling for 20 years in all them different countries, so they can compare the market. Then another objection from the clients is, I want to sell my property. Well, we've got mortgage brokers, and I train people on equity release. Then we've got the currency service, so you package all that together, and that's what property alerts. And that's how we sell units really fast. And then you've got to see it as helping people. So lean into the COVID, we're trapped, we don't want to get trapped, and turn it into an investment. If a client's buying for an investment, they're taking the heart out of the decision, they're using their head, and speed up the process with urgency, and that's what we do.
Yeah. And you guys are
Building that.
independent?
Yeah, we're independent,
You're
but
independent.
we basically use the advisor and we work together to translate for the industry because we don't have the industry knowledge, i.e. like professional.
So if I were to work with you guys on setting up something for me specifically tailor-made, how would we go about doing that?
Well, we need to understand a lot of data, understand exactly your different flows, understand exactly what's
So we
required.
spend a day and map it out.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Then you go and you prepare some form of quotation and some form of timeline to implement. Is that basically
Exactly, yeah.
how it would work?
Exactly, yeah.
Okay.
Because that's the mistake we made before. Went straight into it, charged. We could have realized we'd done a lot more work.
Yeah,
And,
it turns out you work 10 times more than
Yeah,
Yeah.
exactly. And
Yeah.
they thought it could have been done like that.
Yeah.
But because the whole point is mapping it out, understanding the exact scope of work, understanding exactly what would be beneficial, but also we don't want to be doing AI systems which are not AI systems for AI's sake.
Yeah.
Right? We need to understand
Absolutely. I mean, it
the
has to
goals.
be
Yeah,
a
right.
solid purpose.
Exactly. So
Mhm.
Okay.
No, but if you're wondering as well, we are thinking and probably very soon are going to launch for one specific angle instead of just being broader operating systems for different industries. So we're probably going to very soon make something which is more on the back end, like plug and play,
What I'm
basically.
thinking is if you do a development for specifically real estate developers,
Yeah.
you can take that, you can sell it.
Yeah,
That's
yeah.
exactly-
That's exactly what we're
over
doing.
and over and over and over
Yeah,
again.
that's exactly because
That's why I asked if you've already done it. Otherwise, I'll be happy to be the guinea pig. Yeah. So to actually the whole sequence where you can onboard, work with agents.
it's the same
hospitality,
principles
yeah,
either way.
on-plan sales. You have reporting clients. You have
Yeah.
there's a whole variety of things that is basically sections, right?
Yeah, that's why it requires to work very closely with the client, and that's why it's hard to scale when you're doing different things for different industries. You know, but generally the principles are the same and the build outs are the
For
same.
real estate development, 100% the same.
Yeah, you just need to sit down with the person and do it a lot.
Exactly the same. Doesn't
Yeah.
matter if you're Guatemala or you're
Exactly,
here
yeah.
or whatever you are. It's the same.
Yeah.
It's exactly the same procedure.
Yeah.
And since everything is digital today, it's actually the same digital footprint as well.
Yeah.
Everyone is using Meta. Everyone is using the internet. Everyone is using some CRMs. And everyone is. So it's the same thing.
Yeah.
In repeat. So I can see like.
But cross
huge
industry.
Business opportunity for you guys, where you can deliver like basically a hard drive. Like here it is, $10,000. Thank you.
At scale, yeah.
You know,
Yeah.
done. And a manual, so you don't have, you can kind of take yourself out of the equation a little bit, and you can actually have something to sell. It's the same.
Yeah, so with this, we've got all the data points, so we work with 6,000 developers around the world. So give them that, so we've got all the market research.
Yeah. And yeah, it pretty much exactly what you said. Early clients in the real estate, a few clients that we already have as well who are real estate agents are, to call what you call it, the guinea pigs, basically, for that. And then we're also giving them the opportunity to help the early stage, like investors and stuff. Yeah.
Like on Monday, me and Alex go to my own company in Thailand, that's Stoker, and we've got all their data as well. There's 800 developers in there. We're going to be in the room with 600 of them.
And that's a lot of what this whole ecosystem, the whole reason I'm here and stuff with these guys too, is real estate marketing focus.
Yeah.
He's got the big global network with both few million buyers on the list, as well as a big list of agents and brokers. And I think that's what we're evolving right now too, is to get that a little bit more templated, to figure out, what, how do you promote an off-plan development? It's not easy because it's easy if you've got one show unit.
Go back to
a lot
Reels.
of our business, and this is like
Go back to
one
Reels.
show unit, and it's easy because you can make a posted YouTube video, which develops all that trust that you need because it's like it's here, it's real. I'm touching it, I'm seeing it, you can see it too. Especially for offshore investors, which is most of the business out here too. So
Now, for example, like last week, of course, we always go to see our clients in person. That's why we flew to Kuala Lumpur last week. Now, to go to this big hospitality group, they have around over 1,000 employees. There's so much. But we can completely see the underlying principles, which are applicable from there, and from doing stuff with hot property alerts or real estate. Now, it's sort of like an 80%. You plug and play, different niche, and then we can spin off the real estate operating system. Hence, for example, this one, Imperium Real Estate Operating System, RIOS. So that is, as you said, every company has their own data, but the underlying engine.
It's the same.
It's the same, yeah.
Yeah, it's basically the same.
Yeah, if you think about the agents, Bali, Chris, we've got the agents, we've got the international agents, so we've got local agents, international agents, so that's the agents playing too. PR, agencies.
Yeah, but as I say, you have one marketing block, which is the marketing.
Yeah.
With all of that, then you have the financing block, which is everything financing,
Yeah.
reporting, all of that. Then you have the hospitality with everything down to even giving instructions to the cleaners, which unit to go to, whatever. And you have some form of centralized dashboard, main kind of way to present it for the different people.
Also for your clients
to
view,
onboarding, legal, contracts, documentation, all of that stuff. It's exactly the same as well. It's basically just changing some names and addresses. So it's like departments basically.
And you have a franchise template, and you connect it with other ecosystems and communities around the world, and then you basically add in the tokenomics, and you are like a global entity, which is basically.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Like EXP similar. Like you're familiar with EXP? EXP. Very similar to the kind of model that you're talking about. Real estate.
I mean, I've been building like villages and like ecosystems like this, so I'm very involved in these circles and these conversations. About exchanging resources with other communities, real estate developments, connecting it, like the bridge between these different worlds with like crypto, tech, AI, and real estate, and being able to bridge the physical and the digital, and then it's a global network.
Yeah, and then you have the financing leg, which is maybe the most interesting. So you can actually have a finance department as well that actually attracts investment. Like you were talking, connecting to the RWA assets and crypto subscription. I mean,
Yeah.
or maybe
Endless.
maybe fractional ownership, but there's a whole bunch of different solutions out there. But beautiful.
Then credibility. So done lots of TV shows. We're bringing a TV show to Perth.
Yeah.
So that'll be on Sky TV, Bloomberg, Virgin Media. So it's more aimed in the UK. It's quite America. So yeah, it'll be a fun ride.
Awesome. Well, thank you guys so much for coming.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Appreciate it.